I got you. What you want to say about what I just said? You have sex too, right, brother?
So, let's read it again.
Do you have sex?
Brother, back up. Take it easy.
Do you have sex, brother?
Take it easy.
But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house.
So, Ephesians,
brother,
Ephesians 23.
Have some respect. So the Bible commands that a man, he has to be the age of a man, which is what, 20? And he has to also work. Right. If you're not working, you can't sustain a family. Right. You can't buy the necessary things that they need. A baby equals you have money. You need money to take care of your kids. Right. Diapers, food, raiment. All these things is important. You understand? But in growing up in a single parent household, these things are not being instilled in you. You understand? It's not being instilled in you. Why? Because the parents
who's to say
the broken lives that we need today, we look at it as normal. Oh, it's normal to grow up like that. It's normal to have a mentality like that.
Who's to say that a single woman can't install that in their child?
And they continue the same process.
Bring it out!
Read that again.
But if any provide not for his own.
So you have to be working a job to be able to provide for your household.
Right. And especially for those of his own house. He had denied.
2,000 years after the departure of Jesus the Christ, the prophets are back to teach the real Jews, the 12 tribes of Israel, their true nationality. This is their campaign.
Yes, that's what the Bible says. Give me 2 Timothy's, what's that? 2:9, Modesty power. Come on.
1 Timothy chapter 2:9. In like manner also, the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
It says for the women to adorn themselves in modest apparel. What is modest apparel?
The same literature he given, I give out the same literature. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to cut him off the way.
You don't know what modest apparel is? What's modest apparel? Okay, somebody give me the definition of modest apparel. You said the women to adorn themselves in modest apparel. Modest apparel is this: non-shape revealing clothing, non-provocative dressing. That's what modest apparel is. Yes, when you can dress sexy, but it gotta be for your man. It gotta be Jennifer. It gotta be behind closed doors for your man. Why should every other man see your body? Why should every other man see what belongs to your man?
I mean, they can look, but they can touch me.
Huh? No, that's the way America taught you. You can't dress like that. You understand? Because when you dress like that, another man is looking at your nakedness. He's seeing what you're working with. And you leave nothing at all for his imagination. He can see everything. You understand? That's what happens when you wear the tight pants, the spandex and all that stuff, the tight dressing. You understand? The short dressing. God said not to dress like that. Not to dress like that. That is evil when you dress like that. Would you want your daughter to dress like that?
Oh, definition.
You see that sign?
When she gets older, do you want men to look at your daughter like a piece of meat? But that's hot. We can't think like that anymore, Jennifer. We can't be like, oh well, that's just how life is. We have to break the cycle. It's a cycle that we can break by following the commandments in the Bible. That's how we break the cycle. You understand? So we can't just look at it as that's just how life is, because guess what? That's hatred. That is hatred. I wouldn't want that for my daughters. I have 2 daughters. I wouldn't want that for them. Okay? Now, the same thing I would advise my daughters to do, it's the same thing I would advise you to tell your own daughters, to protect them, for men to have respect. You want men to respect your daughter, right? For men to deal with them and respectfully and marry them and treat them right. That's what you would want, right? But when you dress a certain way, it tells you where your mentality is, and it gives the man an okay to treat them any kind of way. You understand? But how do we fix that with the Bible? Come on.
In like manner also, that the women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety.
Read it again.
Timothy chapter 2.
You ain't gotta quote it, just read it again.
In like manner also, that the women adorn themselves in modest
That
apparel.
the women adorn themselves in modest apparel. That is a commandment in the Bible. You have to adorn yourself in modest apparel. That is how you fall in line with the order of God, and that's how you get respect from men. Because when a man see you walking down the street, ass out and everything, how does he approach you? Amen. Let me highlight you for a second. And you in the dress, he has to rearrange his approach. His approach is more respectful. Excuse me, miss, can I talk to you for a second? You understand? So it has a mental effect also. You understand? This is how you protect your daughters. So we have to start protecting our daughters. We have to start to protect them. We first have to get right with God, and we have to protect our children. How? The commandments is going to protect our children. Something as simple as how they dress will prevent them from being a single mother, a baby mother. You want your daughter to turn out to be a baby mother? No. But you know, her dressing provocative and with tight clothing and stuff like that, you know that it encourages single parent households, because what it does is, oh, you dress like that, you dress to look sexy. You understand? When you go in front of the mirror, you're checking your butt to see if it's poking out, you're checking your breast. Why? Why are you checking that to see if those things are poking out? Why? To allure men. It's to come off attractive, to come off appealing. If you're appealing men sexual, guess how they're going to deal with you? Say it again? Because we allow it. We allow it. We, the parents, we, the grown-ups, we allow it. You understand? We allow it. The mothers, the fathers, we allow it. You understand? How do we fix it? Through keeping the commandments of the Bible. A commandment in the Bible says that the woman should not dress they should not dress in modesty. They should arrange themselves in modest clothing. That's a commandment. Right, that's a commandment. But do the fathers, the black men in America, do they allow their daughters to dress like that? No, on an average basis. Why do they allow the kids to dress like that? No. It's not. When you say society, guess what? We are society. We are society. I'm gonna tell you why. Say it again? Yes, but who's in the video? We are in the video. Which race? Right. Right. What I'm saying is this. Which race of people are in the video? Our race. It's us. It's us. We can't point the finger at somebody else for our own shortcomings. The first thing you have to do to fix yourself is you have to acknowledge your fault. You have to acknowledge your shortcoming with God. Okay, I'm not fulfilling this commandment. Let me get right with God. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z that God said to do. Let me get right with God. That's how we fix it. We have to examine our own selves and stop pointing the finger. You understand? So, dressing provocative. You have a daughter? Oh, you have boys. Okay. She has a daughter. Right. She has a daughter, right? You have a son and a daughter. She has a daughter. And she allows her daughter to go outside dressed in immodest. She's dressing provocative. Her titties is showing. Behind is showing. How are boys going to approach her?
How she represents herself.
I don't like what you just said.
When you dress properly and people approach you in a different way.
Right.
For example, not only with the girls, but with boys too as well.
Yes.
Right. And in a way, like, if you're a boy and then you used to this, put your pants down.
Right.
And then when you go to certain place, they don't take you serious. Boy, that's just an example, but with other things too as well.
You know what you just said?
You know what I'm saying?
And the way you dress,
presenting yourself
right
in a certain modest way, as you said,
right.
That's what counts.
Right.
But if you go out of context, right? Then you'll be judged by that, by just by
So now watch this. He said, based on the way you're judged, respect will not be shown to you.
Yes, by the way you dress.
If you allow your daughter to dress the way you are, guess what? Respect will not be shown to her.
Yep.
They're gonna treat her like a piece of meat. You understand? So in order to break that cycle,
the parents gotta change that.
In order to break the cycle, it starts with you.
That's right.
You gotta start caring. You understand? I know you look at it as a normal thing, and that's just the way life is. You gotta snap out of that mentality. You gotta come back to the understanding of God said I have to carry myself a certain way. Your actions, the way you carry yourself, significantly impacts your children. You understand? You owe it to them to train them up the right way. And once you instill it in them from young, they will never depart from it. But you got to be the one to make that change. You understand? Read that again.
In like manner also, that the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
In modest apparel, come on.
With shamefacedness.
Shamefacing. She should not be all up in boys' face like, what's going on? And she should not be like that. She should be shamefacing, meaning quiet. You understand? Come on.
And sobriety.
And sobriety meaning sober. She should not be hitting up the clubs and getting drunk and men slipping roofies or what they call them today. Mickeys or whatever in their drinks to take advantage of them. You understand? It should not be like that. You understand? Where it stops is with you. You have to put your foot down. You have to be that example. Come on.
Not with braided hair or gold or apparel.
Right.
Or costly
So
array.
earlier we were talking about relationships, right? When should relationships start? We were talking about marriage. Go back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, and I want also that in Timothy, what he read earlier. I think it's 5 and 8. Is that 5 and 8? Yes, sir. Any provider for his own household? Yeah. Okay. We were talking about marriage. Okay. What constitutes marriage? Okay, and being properly prepared for marriage. Because today, in our society, we allow a thing called dating and boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well, yeah, actually, that works. I've never been married, so I'm still waiting.
Okay. What you're saying, I'm gonna help you explain what you're trying to say. But dating, according to modern terms, is there sex in dating? Yes. Is there sex in boyfriend and girlfriend relationships? Yes. Yes.
That's wrong, right?
Now,
that is wrong.
At what age does boyfriend and girlfriend start?
14, 15.
14 to 15. Young girl, young boy. Are they fit? Are they in a fit mental space to be dealing with one another sexually? Let alone to even be in a relationship?
That's wrong.
Then why do we allow it? Why do we as the adults allow it?
Right.
I'm saying on a wide basis, on a wide scale, why do we allow it? No, we gotta stop blaming TV. It's us. We are the problem. Once we stop blaming people and start to self-examine, that's how we initialize the beginning of fixing the issue. But why do we allow it? Why? Why? Because that's the way we've been trained up in society. It's a normal thing. Right. So because we look at it normal, there's no problem with it. But guess what? God looks at it as evil. Right. God looks at it as that sin. And the way God looks at things, that's the way we ought to look at things.
Right.
Okay? You got what I want? Let's read that.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother.
I'm sorry, go to Numbers chapter 1 verse 18, because you said boyfriend and girlfriend starts at the age of 14, maybe 12. They start talking to each other, feeling butterflies in the stomach, infatuated with each other. Don't get me wrong, children have emotions and stuff like that, but there's ways to regulate things and make sure everything goes according to the order of God. You understand? Not because you have impulses means that you're supposed to act on those impulses. Come on.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18.
We're going to find out what age is classified as a man first and foremost, because a boy should not and a girl should not be dealing sexually until they become of age. What is the age? Come on.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Come on. According to the number of their names.
Come on.
From 20 years old and upward.
From 20 years old and upward. 20 years was when a man is eligible to go to war. 20 is the age he is classified as a man. You understand? That's the age. Other than if he's under the age of 20, he should not even be thinking about trying to deal with a woman sexually, let alone being in a relationship with a woman, because he's not equipped yet. You understand? In the laws of God, it says the age of a man is 20 years old. You understand that? 20 years old. You understand? If a girl is 14, 18, 20 years old. You understand? 20. Okay? Come on. Genesis.
About 20 years old. We say about the father, like the father want to get from a privilege or something like that.
Say it again?
What do you say about the father just now? Like he's supposed to give his daughter to somebody.
Yes, yes. That is the right way to do it. The father has to give the daughter. Why? Because the father, he's the head of the household, but the father, guess what? He knows men. He knows how men think. You understand? And he's going to evaluate that man based off his experience and what he knows how men think. So he's going to be evaluating them to make sure he's right for the daughter. You understand? That's why marriage is important. That's why a single parent household, it perpetuates the damage in our community. Because why? The woman won't see things the way the man sees things. You understand? And there's certain elements that that child needs from the father in their growth that it's not being made available to them because he's not in the house. So guess what? They grow up being broken. They grow up being broken. You understand? And now the relationships that they get into is broken relationships. You understand? And that's how it continues the damage, because guess what? You're in a broken relationship. It doesn't last. It does not last. Guess what? You end up with children, and you're going to be a single mother, and he's going to be a rolling stone. He's going to get more children. He's not going to father those children. He's just going to keep on going, keep on going. Guess what? Those children that you have, they grow up and they continue the same cycle, and it's never ending. But guess how we fix it now? I keep saying, guess what? This is how we fix it. It starts with you. Following God's commandments. God said, okay, this is how I deal with my children. This is how I deal with a husband. This is how I deal as a man. That's what I'm going to do. That's how we get things right. Give me that, Timothy.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
So, you have to be the age of a man. What is the age of a man? 20 years old. Come on.
But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he had denied the faith.
So now the Bible commands for a man to be the age of 20. Then it says that he has to work. He has to work. You cannot have a family and you're not working. Right. You cannot think to be wanting to deal with a woman, have a relationship, and be having sex, and you're not working. You're not making any money to sustain that family. Right. Because guess what comes with sex? Babies,
Right.
babies,
And
responsibility.
Yeah, I got you. Because I'm gonna catch you on a drift. I guarantee you, I got you. What you gonna say after what I just said? You have sex too, right, brother?
So let's read it again.
Do you have sex?
Brother, back up. Take it easy.
Do you have sex, brother?
Take it easy.
But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house.
So
Ephesians.
the Bible, brother, have some
Ephesians
respect.
23.
Have some respect. So the
Ephesians 23,
the Bible
brother.
commands that a man, he has to be the age of a man, which is what, 20? And he has to also work.
Right.
If you're not working, you can't sustain a family. Right. You can't buy the necessary
man
things
is
that
the
they
foundation.
need. A baby equals you have money. You need money to take care of your kids. Diapers,
That goes without saying.
food, raiment. All these things is important. You understand? But in growing up in a single parent household, these things are not being instilled in you. You understand? It's not being instilled in you. Why? Because the parent
Who's
looks
to
at
say
the
it's
broken,
not?
the broken lives that we lead today. We look at it as normal. Oh,
You know?
it's normal to grow up like that. It's normal to have a mentality like that.
Who's to
And when
say
it doesn't,
that a
it
single
allows the
woman
child
can't
to think the
install
same
that
way,
in their child?
and they continue the same process.
Bring it out!
Read that again.
But if any provide not for his own,
So you have to be working a job to be able to provide for your household.
Right.
Come on.
and especially for those of his own house,
Come on.
he had denied the faith.
He's denying God, he's denying his son.
Right.
You understand? So these are the qualities that a man has to have before
I respect
you
the Bible
even
and I
think
love
about
what you're doing, big
relationships.
brother. You heard me?
understand? These are the qualities that they
Don't
have to
be
have.
a
You
contradiction
understand?
of that
You
word.
understand,
You heard me?
Because
we are all God's people, I believe. You heard?
He has to be.
Know your
responsible.
fathers, brother.
You understand?
I love y'all.
A girl, your daughter should not be in your house dealing with another man sexually while she's living with you. That is out of order. You understand? You read that in Sirach chapter 43, because this is the thing that we allow in our communities today. How old is your daughter? She's 4, okay? So you have time to mold her, to get her right. You have time to fix yourself as being as an example, and you have time to mold her. Her mind is young. She has not been influenced by this world so much as yet. You have to intervene, and you have to train her according to what the Bible says. But you got to fix your life first. We teach every Saturday. We have a school in Mount Vernon. But if you want to come and learn, you want to come to the school and learn, you have to wear a shirt. Understand? You can't come there. A must are dressed down to the foot. That type of thing. A sundress is good, but you can't be wearing spandex, and that dress can't be tight and shape revealing. You understand? Jennifer, you got to stop thinking that way. You have to remember, you're an Israelite woman. You have self-worth. You can't look at yourself yourself as you're not worth anything.
Right.
You can't dress and treat yourself like you're not worth anything.
Bring it out.
You all worth something. Why? Because you're a child of God.
Right.
You have to now carry yourself in that posture. You understand? Give me that in Sirach 43. The father in the having father in the house. I mean, a daughter in the father's house. Come on.
Sirach chapter 42 and verse 9.
There you go.
The father wicked for the daughter.
So the father has an unconditional type of responsibility and care and care over the daughter. You understand? He is gonna lose sleep for the daughter's sake. You understand? He's gonna step in a nigga's face to defend his daughter. He's gonna make sure he evaluates every male that tries to come into the life of his daughter to make sure his daughter is safe. To make sure that her future, she's not growing up in a broken relationship. He's not giving her over to a broken relationship. You understand? To a destructive relationship. Come on.
When no man knew it, and the care for her taking away sleep.
The father has a special care for the daughter. You understand? That's why a man has to be in a house. Because when you have daughters, there's a special care that is needed for the man to put over them. You understand? A mother can't raise a daughter alone.
That's that same.
A mother can't raise a son alone, and she can't raise the daughters alone. You understand? It's destructive to raise kids alone. Kids are not supposed to be raised by a single parent. That doesn't make no sense.
Right.
No, you make no, you right.
Come on.
You make no get that sense.
When she is young, least she passed away.
I'm gonna use myself as an example. I grew up with my mother. I was raised in a single parent's household. You understand? I don't remember what my father looks like. The last time I saw him was 4 years old. What that triggered for me is growing up as an adult is certain things you miss. The lessons that he's supposed to teach you and instill in you, you miss it. And how you learn from it is you now go through life and make mistakes.
Right.
Mistakes that you can avoid, you have to now make those mistakes to learn from it.
Right.
You understand?
I want to say something, but family like that is not only in the United States, right? It's not only in the United States.
No, you're right about
everywhere.
that.
Like me, I'm from Africa, right?
I was born
but
in
I was
Jamaica.
raised up by my father, not with the mother, for example. So it's the same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not only happening in America, it happens in different parts of the world, like everywhere. It's a human being, you know what I'm saying?
I was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
I was born in Jamaica. Okay. Now I was born in Jamaica and grew up in a single parent household.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
And it's the same
thing everywhere. So
But-
whatever happened here, it happened everywhere else.
But the difference is this. I found this. By measuring of myself with this, I found out the different ways that I am broken. You understand? We have to evaluate ourselves through this. You understand? Once we stop pointing the fingers and we start to self-examine and measure ourselves up to see if we're living according to the standards of the Bible, that's how we start getting right. When we start making those changes. Come on. Come on.
The father waited for her daughter when no man knew it, and the care for her taking away sleep.
Come on.
When she is young, least she passed away the flower of her age.
Let she pass away the flower of her age. Why? Why? Because if she is not kept in straight, she's gonna go out there and boys are gonna abuse her. You understand? She's gonna be the neighborhood. What do you call that? The neighborhood hoe. You understand? Come on.
And being married, least she passed, least she should be headed.
Read that part again because I want you to hear this. Come on.
And being married,
No, before. Lest she should.
when she is young, lest she passed away the flower of her age.
What is the flower of her age?
18.
Her virginity. Her virginity.
I mean, back then was like,
Understand? You have to protect her virginity with the utmost care, and you understand? It's not just like, oh, it's the way life is. We just gotta let things just go the way it go. No, you have to protect that virginity as you for their life.
How you protect it?
Understand? Say it
How
again.
do you protect it? What about, tell us right there how it really falls.
Read it again.
How you
From the
protect that?
beginning.
How do you
Beginning.
protect it?
He's writing what he said because he heard something that he picked up that he's resonating. Come on,
The father waited for the daughter
you hear that? Come on.
when no man knew it.
Because the father has a special care over the daughter that the woman doesn't have. Not to say that women don't care about their daughters and that the women don't love their daughters, but the way a man protects his daughter is very unique and very special. Come on.
his first woman.
And the care for her taking away
Listen,
sleep.
and the care for her taking away sleep because he has a very special care for her. Come on.
When she is young,
When she is young, when she's a young girl, come on.
least she passed away the
When she's
flower.
young and she starts to feel horny and she's feeling her her senses are being aroused and she's starting to get curious, it says, lest she should be what?
She passed away the flower of her age.
Lest she pass away her virginity. You have to protect that virginity. You understand? Because when a woman's virginity is taken away, it changes her value. It changes her value. You understand? Come on.
And being married, least she should be defiled.
And if she gets married and she's not trained the proper way and then she becomes married, then she's what? Lest she should be what?
She should be hated.
Lest she should be hated. Why? Why is the husband going to hate her? Because she was never trained on how to deal with a man.
Right.
A woman's role with a man is to be submissive, respectful, a helpmeet, a support system.
Right.
It's not to try to equal up to him and be 50-50 and try to gain control and power over him.
Right.
If she tries to do that, then she's going to end up being hated.
Right.
You understand? Because no man likes that. You understand? A man, a real man, likes a woman that's submissive. You want to train your daughter to be submissive and follow her role given to her by God. You know, in the Bible. You understand? Come on.
Verse 10. In her virginity, lest she should be defiled.
In her virginity, lest she should be defiled. If you have a daughter and she's living in your house and she's having sex with another man, guess what? She's defiled. She's defiled. You understand? We have to protect our daughters.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
And gotten with child in her parents' house. That should not be like that.
That is fucked up.
Say it again.
That is fucked up.
Why is it messed up? I can't say what you said, but I like what you said.
Yeah, it's
now,
fucked
why?
up. He just got me angry with that. This is fucked up.
Why though? Why?
I don't know. It's not right. It's wrong. It is wrong.
First
And wrong is wrong.
First and foremost, it's disrespectful to the parents.
It's disrespectful to the man, to the father.
It's disrespectful to the parents. It's very disrespectful to the father. You understand?
Yeah, and secondly, what that happened to a father, it make you be a less of a man because you can't protect your daughter. Virginity, as you said. You know what I'm saying? And it's hurtful to a man than it would be to a woman, mostly.
Right. You know, watch this. I'm a man and I have daughters. I wouldn't want that to happen to my daughter, you understand? But I know the minds of young
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.